Hi, I'm Hilda Kennedy, and I am founder and president of Ampac Business Capital. And we finance and foster business success from cradle to legacy, helping businesses to get capital to grow, expand, and scale. So Ampac has done a little over $1 billion. We hit $1 billion mark this year in loans for small businesses. The need is there, and we're growing. Everyone does need someone. But if I have a dream or a passion about something, that's why entrepreneurship is so exciting. I'm solving a pain. The pain for me is a lot of people can't get access to traditional capital. I have a banking relationship. I've had a banking relationship for years, but my bank won't give me a loan. Okay, there's other sources to help you get a loan. And so if I can do that, that's exciting to me because I've been able to say yes to someone who has said everyone else has said no to.
It's been here for like 20, 30 minutes.
I love talking about my family. I'm really grateful for my family. I've been married 27 years to the incredible Brian Kennedy Sr., who is a senior pastor of a church. He's been pastoring there for 23 years. He's the love of my life. And I said 27, and it's 28 years now. Oh, gosh. Actually, it's 29 years. That's terrible. It's 29. So the reality is Dad and Granny and Grandpa were married over 50 some odd years before Grandpa passed. So Dad didn't grow up like I did in terms of poverty. They had a very strong, close-knit family, and they weren't wealthy, but they were a hardworking family, and Dad provided for the family.
But our values as a family, her family, my family, were similar in that we cared about others.
Mm-hmm. You would think that would be something we would know a lot more about, but you didn't really talk about it that much.
Growing up in a home full of love, but limited resources, I didn't know until later, just going to college with probably middle-class families, middle-class minority families, how much we just didn't have or were not exposed to. In living in South Central Los Angeles, quite honestly, I was, this is not true for all of my siblings, but I did not feel safe in my neighborhood. It wasn't like you could go out to play and just felt, it's just very different from my children's experience. My mother, though, really worked hard, and her dream was to become a registered nurse because she knew that would give our family means. I remember so clearly at the age of 12, reading on a cassette tape, some people don't even know what that is, but on a cassette tape, her medical books so that she could take those to work or put it in her car so she could listen to those so that she could get prepared for tests so that she can go from CNA, which is certified nursing assistant, to an LVN, licensed vocational nurse. And then eventually, when I was in college, go back to school, continue in school and then become a registered nurse. She showed me hard work. She showed me how to get off of welfare and keep getting an education and keep getting an education and work really hard. My children won't have that experience. They won't have the struggle experience. They'll have strong work ethics because my parents do and I do. They won't have to deal with poverty, though.
It was never a thought, oh, my parents can't pay for food, or we won't have electricity, or we won't have a roof over our heads. Like, I've never had thoughts like that. And man, the more and more I get to talk to just more people from different walks of life, it's inspiring. It's like, I'm really grateful for the amount of privilege that I've been granted. to not have to battle with economic insecurity.
I agree. I never really felt it, like the financial insecurity or whatever. And I didn't really know until I was older, and they were like, you guys just don't even know.
But we're not overly privileged to where we're like rude to people, disrespectful, like don't understand the world, like disconnected. But I do want to have the level of wealth where that's an option, but navigating it in the right way is the real focus. But yeah, like we want to stand on the shoulders of these giants who have come before us. We want to build on what they have built. I mean, this is a heck of a starting point.
So when I see really poor credit, I really want to understand the why. They may have been like me, where they didn't know. What if they were more educated? What if I create a program to educate them about how to deal with credit? And then they can educate their children in the next generation. So now I can tell my kids the why of a credit card, or not don't get a credit card, but how to be responsible in getting a credit card and why you have to pay at 30 days rather than have that interest linger on and become compounded. Really helping them to deal with it in a different way than my parents were not educated enough to share that with me. As I think about this matter of eradicating poverty and doing it with entrepreneurship, it's something that I had not thought about, and as I shared, something that I had not gotten in tune with my own self. This conversation and the public policy part of that conversation is so incredibly critical, because if you don't have the right policies in place to give the first generation entrepreneur, who is likely someone who come from some element of poverty, they've not experienced, they don't have the daddy to loan them money, they don't have a grandparent or great-grandparent who gave them generational wealth. They need a chance. They need a little bit more hand-holding. They need some support, that policy decisions will help them to get resources. They do have to go hand in hand, and it will pay dividends. It is a good bet to support someone getting out of poverty through entrepreneurship, to create jobs and to create generational wealth. It's a good bet. I know where I came from. That's why I work the way I work, and I think about other people and second chances, because I've had a gazillion chances. And I think I've been called to this work because of my humble background. I really do. We couldn't order drinks.
Yeah, you on a budget. Everybody. That's how we get